Good evening and salutations, my Days of Elias fans. For a good minute, I was actually going to sit there and say B&B. So this episode was something. This episode was good in some ways, and in others, well, pretty much only kind of one scene that was kind of disappointing. Now I know I'm gonna get a lot of slack or a lot of heat for this, because, these people are quote-unquote fan favorites, but I kind of got to speak my mind about it anyway. And we can just start off with this scene first. Xana and Sarah. Yeah. Listen, if you're Sarah and Xander fans, you're going to be happy because you get to see them being all cutes and everything like that. But besides that, they don't really do anything. Sarah's bummed out that Maggie left to be with her half-sister. I don't know if her half-sister is, dying or something, but she spent some time with her. So, with that being said, she can't, they can't give her the good news or anything like that. So she's kind of bummed about that. But, Maggie wants them to, Maggie would like, I don't really remember which, because I'm not going to lie, I kind of got a little bored with their scenes, but I do remember something along the lines of, Sarah wanting the wedding to be, in the house, but Xander's like, after what Victor was doing to me, nah, I'm good. Nope, that's not happening. But, he wants to sit there and please his wife, and, it will make Maggie happy if they perform the ceremony in the house, so he's just gonna bite the bullet and do it. After that, they, I guess we just gotta sit there and pretend that they had sex, because that's what they did. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really think there's really gonna be that many, those scenes together. I really don't. The sad thing is that I'm actually okay with that, because I always found, here's the thing, I always found those love-making scenes just to be, just awkward. Just awkward for reasons, and it just seems, I'm not gonna lie, the way that these scenes are shot, they just seem so silly. And I'll just leave it at that, but, yeah, that's pretty much about it. I'm not gonna lie, I honestly felt like they were just there for mostly filler, because they didn't really do much of anything else. So, what else we got? Okay, so here's the thing about Kristen being, Susan. Eventually, she's gonna blow her cover. She's gonna blow her cover because, as, smart and as crafty as she thinks she is, Kristen is nothing but emotional, and she lets her emotions drive her actions. Kristen comes in, and she sees, like I said before, she sees Chloe Lane on her knees with Brady. Granted, he was she was changing his bandage or whatever, but still, it's not a good image, okay? I'm just going to be honest. It's not a good image. If you ever saw a scene like that, even if, your husband was, I don't know, changing, stitches or whatever, and you see some girl on her knees, it's just, listen, I'm laughing about that, but it's not a good scene. That's all I'm going to say about that. So, she's just like, what are you doing? And Chloe's like, oh, well, it's not really that hard and stuff like that to change a bandage or whatever. And, Kristen's like, are you a nurse? And listen, I get that Chloe's like, it's not brain surgery, changing a changing, a bandage or whatever. But the point is, you're not a nurse. They can hire a nurse. They don't need you there 24/7. I get that, you can go over there and hang out and, go through work stuff, but, besides that, this girl, the definition of she really needs to stay in her lane is just completely just right over her head. I'm like, you don't need to be sitting there changing bandages and stuff like that. They can get a nurse for that. And I don't know. You know, my whole thing about Chloe is that she's kind of irking me a little bit. And I don't mean like, oh, I don't want to see her anymore. But it's like her actions are irking me. Like she's playing this coy game of, oh, well, you know, there's nothing going on with me and Brady and stuff like that. Yet, you still have an attraction for Brady, knowing that, well, he's in love with Kristen. They have a daughter together. And what? You're just spending so much time with this guy that you clearly have feelings for, but you just want to be come on. It's so bad and it's so tacky. And the sad thing is that I feel like in a lot of ways Chloe should be better than that. The way she acts, the way she puts on this innocent act of, well, I just want to be a friend. I just want to help out Philip. I just want to be a friend to Brady. It's like, okay, so why don't you just actually be a friend instead of trying to be this somewhat snake, you know? And I don't mean snake like she's purposely doing it, but she knows that she has an attraction for this guy, and yet you're constantly following this guy, you're touching this guy left and right, but you want to sit there and say that you're just friends? Like, come on. That's what I not liking about Chloe. But Kristen is getting very obvious with her jealousy, you know. There's a couple of times where she's pretty much like, so you can just leave, you can just go. And at one point she's like, so where's Rachel at? Susan? You're not like related to, like, why would you be asking about somebody else's child? You know? But I feel like Kristen's going to give away her position at some point, and it's going to be good. They talk about Rachel, but then something else comes up, and I'm just like, okay, really? So, somewhere along the lines, Brady's like, oh, well, Rachel loves Chloe, and, Chloe's like, yeah, she's sitting there talking, and Kristen's like, oh, really? So first in her eyes, you're moving in on a man, and then what? You're trying to play Mommy 2.0? Like, what are you doing? And I know that she's trying to come across as like coy and naive and stuff like that, but it's like you can only get away with so much with just playing ignorant. So, and I feel like that's a line that's I'm not even going to get into, but let's just sit there and say it's kind of crossing the line a little bit. It's crossing the line. At some point, Chloe does leave because, Brady gets tired and, work should just end it or whatever. So she leaves. Kristen just kind of slams a door in her face pretty much. And she makes him a grilled cheese sandwich. But she makes it in a way that, Brady likes. And Brady's like, yo, how'd you know how to make my grilled cheese sandwich just the way I like it? And, of course, once again, Kristen tries to cover up. Oh, Marlena, she told me. She told you exactly how to make his grilled cheese sandwich too? Is there anything else that she told him? Like, anyway, he buys it and she continues to act weird and I guess hilarity ensues. So I want to get to my somewhat favorite part. Well, it was the most exciting part. I wasn't say it's my favorite part because of the way he's acting, but the most exciting part, and that is, of course, the Charlie and Claire scene. So, just to recap it, and pretty much from yesterday, she gets him to confess. And then he's like, okay, cool, so, what's up? And, and Claire's like, so, I'm getting kind of tired, and, why don't we just call it a night? And Charlie's like, nah, let's not do that. Let's hang out. I mean, it's like, only like 8 o'clock? Let's chill, let's do something. I mean, let's do something. So, at this point, Charlie wants to play mattress tag, okay? He wants to play mattress tag, and, You know, at this point, Claire got everything that she needed, but Bella calls. Bella calls her, and it rings, and Charlie's like, I thought you said you was going to put it on silent. Like, what's going on? Were you forget? Like, what's up? So she's like, no, I got it. And Claire, like a dumbass, because that's literally the only way I could sit there and describe the scene. She picks up her phone, and she's trying to turn off the ringer, and I'm just like, sweetheart, do you not know how to use your own phone? And why are you getting so close to him with your phone? So of course she's trying to, she's trying to turn it off or whatever, and she walks towards him, and I'm like, are you kidding me? And at this point, Charlie's like, no, I got that. He looks at the phone and is like, why is it on the recording app? What's up with that? And, Claire tries to play it off at this point, and I was like, Claire, you know what? At this point, it's better that you might as well just own it, and she keeps trying to, I didn't realize it was a recorder, I must have hit it by accident, and yada yada yada. Claire, no one's buying that, okay? No one's buying that. You can't sit there and play your way out of being this stupid, okay? You are way too young to actually not know how to use that damn phone. So after a while, he just loses it. And at one point, I don't know if this is before or after, but at one point he was like, I'm not leaving. And I think this is when Claire asked him to leave the first time. He was like, I'm not leaving. Now I'm like, I'm sorry, what? That was, I'm not going to lie, watching this scene was almost like kind of watching, I wouldn't sit there and say a horror movie, but like a really, like a suspense movie where it's like, the killer's around there somewhere. So now I'm kind of sitting there like, man, I feel like I should actually have either popcorn or ice cream. And I think I'm actually have to watch this with ice cream. I think that's going to be a new thing. But yeah, so at this point he's like, you lied to me, and you made me believe, and I was so desperate. And I was like, yes, Charlie, you are desperate. You are really desperate. So at this point he just gets crazy, And Claire's like, I want you to leave, and he's like, I'm not leaving. Okay, well, we are seeing the true Charlie, like his true colors. And on a side note, I hope we do see his dad, because I keep seeing these, I don't know, fake YouTube channels or whatever, where they're like, oh, his dad is going to be showing up, and man, I gotta sit there and wonder what the hell is his dad like, because listen, I don't know what Ava's like. I know she's done some stuff, but I mean, that gene gotta come from somewhere. It gotta come from somewhere. But yeah, so he goes nuts, and Claire's like, she's like, help. Claire, sweetheart, the door's right behind you. It's right behind you. I mean, listen, I know he's gonna probably get to the door faster than you can open it, because, well, up until this point, you were actually smart, and now you just lost all your damn brain cells. But could you pretend to actually turn around and try to go for the door? Whatever. So Bella, she comes in there, and she's all like, get away from my daughter. And then the cell phone is on the couch somewhere. So, Claire's like, the recording, it's right over there by the it's right over there. I'm sitting there thinking, this only could play out in one way, of course. But I'm sitting there thinking, sweetheart, why don't you just, instead of announcing where the cell phone's at, why don't you just go get the damn cell phone? Your mom is right there. And she just, see, I don't know how to describe just how stupid this scene is. Because literally, she has her mom try to get to the cell phone before Charlie, while she just stands there like a dumbass doing absolutely nothing. And I normally don't curse as much, but there's just no other way I can sit there and describe it. So of course Charlie gets the phone, and he erases it, and then he just gets like, well, Charlie gets to a point where it's like, God kind of wish Sammy was there just to kind of shoot off his joystick, and I do not say that lightly, coming, as a man. But, the guy deserves it, okay? Listen, I'm going to say something that's kind of crude, but I feel like it needs to be said, because apparently not everyone should actually have a joystick. I feel like it's kind of a privilege. And, doing what Charlie did, no, those rights are, he doesn't deserve to have it at that point. But yeah, of course, he gets all bolden, and he's all like, well, it's my word against yours, and, he just starts bragging. And of course, before he leaves, he says that cringy-ass line, and I'm just like, are you kidding me? He literally walks away, he's like, arrivederci. And I was just like, honestly, to tell you the truth, every time you say that line, it just gets worse. It just gets worse. You somehow managed to turn that word, and I don't think I ever actually want to say that word ever again. I hope I forget about that scene, and I won't have to sit there and think about that, but I doubt that. So yeah, that happens. Let's see if I missed anything. Of course I missed something. That was actually kind of the best part of this episode. And pretty much Philip says yes to Gabby. They talk about ruining Titans. That way they can get back at Chloe and Jake for, rejecting them. Yep, that was pretty much about it for that. And Kate starts an argument with Jake about Gabby. Being like, are you thinking about Gabby? I saw you looking at the store. You lied to me. You didn't tell me the truth. And I'm like, well, listen, I get that you're kind of on a hissy fit, but Jake, she kind of got a point. You shouldn't have lied to her about your encounter with Gabby. And you can sit there and say, well, it wasn't that big of a deal, or I didn't want you to be upset. What did you think was going to happen when she found out? So anyway, they argue, and pretty much the only way to fix this argument is a good old game of mattress tag. So they do that, and then apparently all is forgiven. All is forgiven, and I guess that game was so good that she decided to work with Jake, and tell Abe that she's not gonna be his assistant. Jake is like, it's a good idea. You're far too talented. You're far too smart to sit there and be his assistant. And I'm like, yeah, that actually makes total sense. Listen, I don't know, like when I started watching this, I didn't really know exactly how Kate was. But watching her, I'm just like, listen, I get that you could be a good assistant, but you can be more than that. So, yeah, it should be interesting. I don't know if I actually missed anything. Let's just double check. I think that's about it. I was going to sit there and say that arrivederci thing, but I just... Yep, can't do it. Anyway, with that being said, I'm going to go. Thank you so much for watching. Be safe. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. I will catch everyone in the next review.